Welcome, y'all. In a world increasingly marked by disconnection, meditation offers a vital path back to ourselves, to each other, and to the living world around us. This episode, in honor of Mental Health Awareness Month, invites you to explore how presence, empathy, and mindful attention can heal the crisis of connection we face today. Welcome. You are listening to Our Mindful Nature, a podcast helping healers and those searching for healing respond to anxiety, overwhelm, or depression with nature-inspired meditations for better mental health. I'm your host and meditation teacher, Meryl Arnett. This podcast is recorded from my live Monday night meditation class. If you would like to access today's meditation practice or nature soundscape as a standalone audio file for your daily use, please subscribe to my newsletter at merylarnett.com. All right, y'all, grab a cup of tea, pop in your headphones, and find a comfy seat. Welcome, everybody. Happy Monday night. I am so glad to see all your faces and to get to practice with you. So we have been journeying through some heavy emotions in our meditation practice this month in this group, right? And these emotions could be present for any number of reasons, but I think we're top of mind and majority present because of the political chaos that we are living through here in this country. And we're not the only country to be living in political chaos, but it is certainly present for us. And so we have talked about meditation for anxiety, meditation for depression, meditation for emotional exhaustion. And as I was thinking about that this morning, I was like, we also should really talk about not just the ways that meditation can support those heavy emotions, but also the things that meditation fosters and uplifts within us. And at least in my personal opinion, the two greatest benefits, the two greatest boons that we get from our meditation practice are connection and resilience. Connection and resilience. And tonight in particular, I really want to talk about connection. In fact, the next couple weeks, we might talk about different aspects of connection, because there is no inkling of doubt that we are in a crisis of connection, truly a crisis of connection. There have been many psychological studies and articles written about this epidemic of a loss of connection, an epidemic of loneliness. And it's interesting. It's a little sciencey, but I think I'm going to read it because it feels really interesting. And this is just the start of one summary of a study. This one was in Psychology Today. And the paragraphs I pulled out go like this. Decreasing levels of empathy and trust, and the rising indices of depression, anxiety, loneliness, and social isolation indicate a loss of connection at the individual and the community level. As the bonds of solidarity and cohesion weaken, our ability to address our societal problems and pursue our common interest is severely damaged. And I'm skipping a little bit. Humans are inherently responsive and relational beings, born with a voice, with the ability to communicate and engage with others, and with the desire to live in relationships. Our tendency towards altruism and cooperation is now recognized as a key factor in our survival as a species. We want to bond within and across communities, but we live in a society that is rooted in beliefs and ideologies that prevent us from having what we want and need most to thrive. Patriarchal ideologies, for example, lead us to privilege stereotypically masculine qualities over those deemed feminine. We value self over relationships, individual success over the common good, the mind over the body, and thinking over feeling. Essentially, at our core, what we need, what we crave is connection. And everything we are taught and absorb from a cultural viewpoint is that we don't need it and we shouldn't want it. And it leaves us in this very disconnected and struggled place because we feel like, well, that can't be the answer. Everything says that's not the answer. I have to take care of myself. I have to lift myself up. I have to be stronger. When the truth is that the answer actually is to lean into connection. And that connection shows up to connection to self, connection to other beings, connection to the world, connection to the natural world. And I'm sure you are all equally aware, of course, that our national parks just desperately need our connection. Desperately need our connection. This is a bit of a ramble and you'll forgive me for it, I hope, but I was thinking about national parks this morning and I was remembering the story, The Lorax. Have any of you read The Lorax enough to remember it and the loss of the trees in the Lorax? And I went down this was all in my meditation practice, this long, like meandering thought trail of like the Lorax, and that's so sad. And what if we're there? And then at the end of that story, the Lorax leaves a seed, right? That's the end of the story. And it's like, the seed is for you. You might be the one. And it led me, Rainey says, just watch this weekend. Love it. And it made me feel that I wanted us to lean into connection to the natural world tonight. And it's something we talk about a lot. It's certainly the topic of poetry and art. And it is so much deeper than that. I mean, everything about meditation, as I know you all know, is a practice of connection, right? It is a practice of connecting to our truest self, as well as that more grandiose and perhaps vaguely cliche, like connecting to the oneness, the way that we are all connected to each other and all share that same energy, that same aliveness. And we become aware of this in our meditation practice. It grows over time. And our work is then to figure out, well, how do I embody that? How do I hold on to that as I move through my day? And the truth is, when we look at least at the natural world, it's so embedded. It's so embedded, right? When we look at meditation texts, almost all of them, somewhere along the way, talk about the universe inside the body, talk about stars and rivers and islands and tree roots inside the body. That what we see outside is what we see inside. And we see this in art and we see this in poetry. We also see this at the deepest levels of our language. And I wanted to share a few of those with you tonight. And so this is just a smattering. Like there's so many more, but this is a smattering of this connection in a myriad of languages. Starting with Apache. In Apache, the root word for land is the same as the word for mind. The words for wind, breath, and spirit are the same word for wind, breath, and spirit in Hebrew and Arabic. The Greek word for wind is the Latin root for soul. Also in Greek, the word for breeze means life begetter or soul nurturer. Cultivating the soil and worshiping God are the exact same word in Hebrew. And if language isn't enough, then maybe science is enough. And there's been so many studies that have shown the ways that we innately respond and connect to the natural world, from things like our immune system being boosted when we smell cypress trees, or when we smell humus, when you smell literal earth, dirt, it releases oxytocin, the same chemical that's released when a mom holds a newborn baby so that we bond to those babies. That same chemical is released just when we smell dirt. We are meant to connect with nature. And it is not just something for us to feel good and alive, right? It's not just for us. It is equally for the natural world. It is equally for this world that at this moment doesn't have park rangers, right? And is being viewed as extractive. So I want us to practice tonight with a view towards sensing into that connective space. And what I want for each of us is to have the opening to say, what shows up for me? Where do I see or feel or sense connection? What does that offer me, and what does that offer the world? And as you know, because you've taken my class far too many times, I am fully in love with Robin Wall Kimmerer. And specifically, what I love is the cycle of reciprocity that she writes about in our relationship with the natural world, meaning that it's not just about the gifts, it's not just about what we get from the earth, but it is equally about what we give. And as she's writing about this, she writes, all we need is mindfulness. Paying attention is a form of reciprocity with the living world, receiving the gifts with open eyes and open hearts. And so we're going to start there this evening by paying attention to the natural world, by leaning into the sense of connection. And what stems from that, what awareness comes from the practice, from your own awareness, is for you. It's for you to be aware of, it's for you to journal about, and perhaps it is for you to do something with, right? That's for each of us to decide. But we can start very simply with the mindfulness component. Yeah. So we're going to let ourselves land in a comfortable seat. You'll take all the time you need to get there. As we practice tonight, you'll hear a myriad of sounds, a journey across Maui from nature field recordist Nick McMahon. And so we'll hear water, wind through bamboo, birds, all kinds of good stuff. So take all the time you need to let yourself settle, to drop your body into the cushion or chair, maybe to lean back against the wall or the bed. Let your arms rest. Decide if you would like to close your eyes this evening, or if it feels better, more comfortable, you can always just take a soft gaze down towards the ground. And together as a group, exactly as you are and where you are in this moment, let's breathe in. And we'll exhale out a sigh. And we're going to do this once again when you're ready, inhaling deeply. Exhaling out a sigh. And then allowing your breath just to flow. Breathing however your body wants you to breathe. And beginning your practice here this evening by silently saying to yourself, now is my time to meditate. Now is my time to meditate. And as you say those words to yourself, I hope you can find some sense of dropping in, some sense of letting go of the day that you've already had. And letting go of whatever is going to come next. And for this brief period of time that we have together, can we just be here? You might find that you can let yourself sit a little heavier. Letting go of any gripping through your thighs, through your hips or your belly. Softening across your shoulders, your chest. Maybe being able to let go a bit across your jaw or the inside of the cheeks. Maybe even the tongue. Maybe you can feel or imagine the skin around your eyes softening a little bit. Or some space between the eyebrows. Or some space behind the forehead. And gradually, just letting your awareness expand enough to take in the whole body. The whole body seated here and breathing. And without too much effort, without any sense of force. Just see if you can become aware of your breath. Feeling yourself breathe in. Feeling yourself breathe out. Honing in on each breath as it moves into the body, as it moves out of the body. And somewhere within this breath, maybe you remember that in many languages. The same word, the same anchor. It means wind, a breeze blowing across your skin. It means spirit. That sense of aliveness that we all share. We feel our breath flow. We feel spirit. We feel wind. And as we settle into silence tonight, let's let our awareness move from breath to all that it connects with and back again. The breeze that carries birds, the wind that flows through bamboo and across waves, wind that connects our life force to all the life force surrounding us. We'll settle here about 10 minutes in silence. Allowing yourself to simply feel the breath move and notice the connections. Feel the breath move. And notice the connection. Feeling your breath here. Feeling, hearing, sensing, or imagining connection. Inviting your breath to grow just a touch deeper. Maybe feeling the next inhale as it spreads through your body. Feeling the next exhale as you share it with the room surrounding you. You might gradually start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. You might straighten up your spine a touch or roll your shoulders back and down. And taking all the time you need. There's no rush. When you feel ready, you'll take a deep breath in. You'll release out a sigh. Gradually letting go of the practice and hopefully maintaining that sense of connection. Thank you, guys.
As we close today's practice, let's remember, connection is not something we have to earn. It is our birthright. Through presence, mindfulness, and attention to the world around and within us, we can begin to heal the fractures of disconnection that harm both our inner lives and our communities. Today, you've been invited to lean into your natural ability to connect, especially with the natural world. You've learned that meditation strengthens not just your focus, but your compassion. That paying attention is a form of gratitude, and that every breath you take can be a bridge back to belonging and reciprocity. As you move through your life this week, I invite you to practice small moments of connection. Pause to notice the breeze on your skin. Savor a moment of genuine conversation, or simply offer your presence fully and without distraction to someone who needs it. Healing begins with awareness, and awareness begins with the simple, powerful act of being here, now, together. We will continue this exploration of connection all month as a nod to Mental Health Awareness Month. Next week, author and host of the Super Psyched podcast, Dr. Adam Dorsey, joins me to discuss the psychological implications of deepening our sense of connection. I hope you'll join me. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening to Our Mindful Nature. If you would like to receive today's meditation practice and nature soundscape as standalone audio files for your daily practice, please subscribe to my newsletter at merylarnett.com. It's free, and you'll receive a new practice each week. Our Mindful Nature is recorded on Muskogee land and is produced with the support of Nick McMahon and Brianna Nielsen. Deep gratitude is offered to acoustic ecologists Nick McMahon and Gordon Hempton for the use of their nature field recordings in many of these episodes. We release a mini episode that's just the meditation, no chatter beforehand, every Monday. And every Thursday, we release a full episode with a meditation class or interview. I look forward to practicing with you again soon.